Do not put them up yet. Let me do this real quick.
You might get up here and do some weird, bro.
Not having it. Not having it.
Oh my god.
What's up, man?
The champ is here.
The champ is here. I'm sure he is. What's good, man?
Leviticus 25:6. Let's start with that one. If y'all want to pull it up on the screen real quick.
What about it?
So we see 25:6, Leviticus. There are 3 types of strangers in a specific verse. Or 3 types of servants, to be exact. I don't even have the scriptures in front of me. This is how easy this is, bro.
Okay.
This is how easy this is. I'm not trying to be boastful. Honestly, I do want to come up and really have a discussion with you to see if we could both be honest with each other. But I done been on so many different Israelite panels, and they run from the discussion, bro. They really do. They run from the discussion. They run from the points. They run from the definitions, and they constantly say that the stranger can be interchangeable, and it's just not true. And if y'all could show me here, Leviticus 25 is the coldest.
I'm curious. What's the point of this, though? What's the point of you came over and said there's 3 different strangers? What's the point of that?
The point is to prove that this whole thing that you was talking about you could get food, you could practice usury, right? You were saying that you could practice usury on a non-Israelite. It's just not true, and you can prove it with these specific words. You can prove it.
Hold up. So when the Bible talks about usury in Leviticus 23, who is that talking about?
You got to go to the verse, bro. You got to read it for me. I ain't even got it in front of me.
Well, let's just read that. Let's read that. We're going to come back to what you said.
This is
I'm very curious.
You about to pull up on the screen? I got it.
You can start reading it. I got to pull it up on little guy.
This is Deuteronomy 23 and verse 19. It said, "Thou shalt not lend upon usury to thy brother, usury of money, usury of victuals, usury of anything that is lent upon usury. Unto a stranger thou mayest lend upon usury, but unto thy brother thou shalt not lend upon usury, that the Lord thy God may be blessed. That the Lord thy God may bless thee in all that thou sittest thy hand to in the land, whether thou goest to prosper it."
So what does that mean?
Yeah,
It means that when you click on that word stranger, you will see that this specific stranger is a Nakar. That Nakar is someone who is not in covenant with the children of Israel. That is simply
so I can charge interest on a heathen.
On someone who is not in covenant, but someone who is in covenant, such as a person who is circumcised or bought with your money, just as we see in Leviticus 25:49, I believe it is, where it says that the bondservant who you buy, you can inherit him forever. It tells you that if a stranger or a sojourner goes into your land, right, you're supposed to deal with him properly. The word sojourner, if you go to Leviticus 25,
okay, bro, hold on, bro. We're not gonna do a sermon. Let's slow down for a second. So you said that word stranger means somebody who's not in covenant with the Lord. So is a heathen not in covenant with the Lord?
he can be if an Israelite purchases him. If an Israelite,
if he doesn't though.
If he doesn't, he a straight up heathen.
So usury can be put upon him then.
But the point that you missing though, brother, I agree with you,
brother. That I'm not asking you the point that I'm asking you. Can I put?
See, there you
can
go.
I put
You running, bro. You running from my point.
Look, bro. I'm not running from
bro,
any. I'll deal with any of your point. I'm asking you straight up questions. So the heathen that is not in covenant with the Lord and who is not trying to join themselves to Israel, right? I don't agree with that, but let's just say I do for a second, right? Can he have interest put upon him?
The heathen that's not in covenant?
Yes.
Of course, brother. That's what the scriptures say.
How is that different than what we say?
It's different because when, just as I said it 3 times already, and I ain't trying to be facetious, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, and I'm not trying to be boastful. But just as I said, when I came up on here, I said the Israelites constantly run from the topic, brother. So you got me repeating myself when I just told you. The Nakar is different than one who is a guard. The guard is also a stranger. There is multiple meanings for this word. The English, they like to play games with you and put stranger here and there and there. What they really should have did was uh, 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 gave the details on what these different strangers are. But this is why we are having these issues because most of us don't have the time to deal with the Hebrew. Shit, I don't even know Hebrew, but it take common sense and reading comprehension to just click on that blue letter word and see what it exactly means. And the story unfolds, bro. A guard can be a non-Israelite who is your servant.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah,
non-Israel,
and it could also not be too.
Yeah, I'm about to say what?
but that even just because it can also be an Israelite, that don't take away from the point that non-Israelites can still be in covenant, bro.
Well, no, what the way you would reconcile that is you would have to look at the context then of what's happening.
Yeah, because I ain't gonna lie, Leviticus 25 ain't talking about nobody being in covenant.
Well, before we get there though,
Yeah.
like if we're like Hebrew words and Greek words, they're going to be defined by the way they're used, the context, especially gar in this case. If we start at verse 19, read 19.
It's a lot here. I moved away. You got to put up that one.
It's on the screen if you want to read it.
Oh, you said 19. It said, "Thou shalt not lend upon usury to thy brother, usury of money, usury of victuals, usury of anything that is lent upon usury."
So that's a hold on fast. So who is that? Who is that brother?
The brother is anybody in your household.
When has that been the case?
Yeah. Whoa.
When has that been the case?
Because when you love the stranger as yourself, he is your brother.
Show me that in the text.
Yeah.
Show me where a non-Israelite can become your brother.
He is. I mean, it's kind of. You want me to?
I'm not dealing with common sense. I want you to show me that in the text.
You want me to show you where it says that a stranger who you bought is your brother, that he is your kinsman? That's what you want me to show you?
Yes, sir. Show me that.
The only way I can really do that to show that it straight up just says it directly, because it really don't say it directly. You really got
it don't because it's not there, brother.
It's not there.
Okay, so explain to me why is the covenant made with the drawers of water and the hewers of stone?
Brother, we're not hold up. We're not going anywhere other than here.
Oh my
right?
jeez.
We're not doing that. What's happening is this. We're dealing with the word in the gar in context, right? Like, well, you said gar, but I mean stranger right here. We see in verse 19, it says, "Thou shalt not lend upon usury to thy brother." You can't find no text that says a heathen becomes your brother because it don't exist, right? And it says usury of money, usury of victuals, usury of anything that is lent upon usury. But it says unto a stranger thou mayest lend upon usury. So contextually, this stranger has to be a non-Israelite.
But you know why? You know why that's false? Because you can say that because it fits your doctrine. Because watch this, bro. Watch this.
No,
Watch,
hold up.
this.
Hold up.
Hold on, give me 1 minute. Give me 1 minute.
No. We're not gonna do that. You're saying you know why that's false. You couldn't show us or provide us a scripture that says a brother is a heathen can be your brother. So you were in no position to say our theology is false. That's just you. That's just you want to just be what's that word? What's that word called? A contrarian. You're just being a contrarian. That's all that's happening here, bro.
If the covenant is made with you, your women, your little ones, the stranger that is a drawer of water and a hewer of stone, if that covenant is made with also the stranger who can be a drawer of water and a hewer of stone, that means that the covenant that is your brother.
No, brother, we're not dealing with these crazy exegesis, right? If you can't provide If you cannot provide a scripture where a heathen can be your brother, that doesn't matter. You're just making an assumption. Because
So
what makes somebody your brother in the context of the Old Testament is somebody who's a children of your people.
it says, okay, you know what? So a neighbor, you know what? I can find something. So a neighbor isn't considered a brother?
If you really want to
I'm
base,
It's crazy work. It's crazy
yeah,
work.
it's crazy, bro.
It's crazy work, bro. It's crazy.
See, y'all ignored all of the points that I made.
Nobody. We're not ignoring you. You just have. The thing is, you're not prepared to answer this.
Oh,
That is the only thing you can stand on, but you can't stand on
The context of the chapter is the only thing I can stand on.
You can't stand on the Hebrew words. You can't stand on God.
That's
You can't
fine,
stand.
brother. That's
I
fine,
know
brother.
it's fine. I know it's
That's fine. That's fine, brother.
Oh man, I wanted to go to Leviticus
No,
25
we're not.
and 6.
I spent 2 hours. I spent 2 hours talking to Taquan's dumbass. I'm not about to do it again.
I was about to cut him in Deuteronomy 29, bro. In Deuteronomy 29, it literally says, hold on, bro. Watch this, bro.
It's like we can't like the thing is we can't go anywhere if you can't break it down in the chapter in question as far as the brother part. Nothing you're saying is relevant. It's not. I'm gonna have to now talk about things that are irrelevant to the conversation so you can have a point in the conversation. We're not doing that.
But
And Jim Green and this too, Jim. Now speaking of people who's running from debates, right? You see the link in the chat.
Yeah, come on, Jim. Come on up here.
Like you know, I'll tell you one thing about me, brother. I'm not above rebuking an elder. I'm not, right? So you can either be quiet in the chat and go make your one-sided videos like you like to do, right? And also you should actually, Jim Green, right? And I also want to thank you for telling us about Logos because now we got it now.
Hey, yeah.
I forgot about that.
Because of you. Oh, bro,
Hey,
you messed up.
You changed the game.
You said we ain't have money like that, and now we got the academic version of Logos.
He messed up on that, boy. You think we broke? You messed up on that, brother.
You messed up.
Ooh, you messed up on that one.
So thank you, sir.
In the verse he brought up, the word is ger. Like he acts like we don't read the Bible.
I mean, crazy. The link was sent about like 10 minutes ago. All he has to do is scroll up and he can jump on.
All he has to do is scroll up, man.
Yeah, I wanted to go to Leviticus 19. He wanted to talk about Leviticus 19.
The chat is back.
Oh my God.
Hey, bro, so you were saying in Deuteronomy 29 that the covenant is made with the heathen?
Now look. Let's go to Leviticus 25. And I'm gonna get up off y'all thing. I'm gonna stop trolling, right? Because that's how y'all think I'm scoffing and I'm trolling. Let's go to Leviticus 25 where it talk about the kinsman the kinsman redeemer. His uncle could buy his nephew by slavery. Let's go to it real quick.
What verse?
At first he said Leviticus 25 and 6.
Okay. No, not 6, 25 and 40. I believe it's 47.
Leviticus 25:47. And if a stranger or it says if a sojourner or a stranger waxes rich by thee, and thy brother that dwell by him wax poor, and he sell himself unto the stranger or the sojourner by thee, or to the stock of the stranger's family, after that he is sold, he may redeem again one of his brethren may redeem him. And okay, that's just saying that an Israelite can redeem his brother from being a slave to a stranger.
Watch this, big bro. Watch this.
Hold on real quick before you go. I'm about to go run to the restroom. I'll be right back.
Go ahead.
This gonna be the snare, bro. And I ain't even laying the snare, but you're gonna have to live with this once we get off of this. Okay. If I'm a half Israelite and I got an uncle.
We don't believe in half Israelites. The Bible don't even say anything about being a half Israelite.
That's fine. But if I'm a half, if my mother is an Israelite, my father is a non-Israelite, right?
Yeah.
Can I be bought out of slavery by my Israelite uncle?
By your Israelite uncle?
Yes, sir.
Is that what the verse says in 47?
That's exactly what it says.
It says, or his uncle or his cousin may redeem him. Where does it say that? Is this off your mother's side? Oh, he just kicked him off, or he just fell off. I'm about to say, bro, where does it even give you whose side of the family your father is an Israelite on in this? Bro, fell off, cuz. I was trying to dive into that. It don't even, bro, when you read verse 47 and 48 or
Bro,
49,
the daggers in verse 50, bro.
I know that I was gonna let bro just walk himself down, but I just wanted to ask him, where in this does it say that this is a person whose mother is an Israelite and her brother is buying you out? Where does it say? Bro, he just fell off. But he was trying to say that in Leviticus 25 and 49, he was trying to say, well, let's say you were half Israelite and your mama an Israelite and her brother buys you out of slavery. And I'm like, he don't even say that.
Yeah, I told y'all.
Yeah, bro. It's good, bro. I tried. Never mind, bro. You was right. You gotta listen sometimes.
I'm just saying, bro. He's I've been on different platforms. Nobody want to do like that lets you know everything you need to know, bro.
And I want to bring up verse 50, what you was talking about, bro.
So first Leviticus 25 and 50. And he shall reckon with him that bought him from the year that he was sold to him until the year of Jubilee. And the pieces of his sale shall be according unto the number of years, according to the time of a hired servant, shall it be with him. So the part where it says that he was sold unto him until the year of Jubilee, the only people that you can release free in the year of Jubilee, that you're commanded to release in the year of Jubilee, is an Israelite. So yeah, no, this stranger here is not a heathen. The actual heathen is when you jump up in verse 39 down to 46.
That's a heathen.
That's an actual heathen. So yeah.
It's really, you mean verse 44 on the 46. That's an actual heathen. 44 to 46 is actual heathen. But either way it goes, Cut don't know what the hell he talking about.
But Kethy, you got a good 10 minutes, man. Hold up. There we go. Kethy, how was your internet connection in Congo?
Oh, is that Kethy? Oh,
yeah.
Oh.
Yes, is that Kethy?
Oh man.
How many lions did you have to fight today?
Yeah, just a quick question because I watched not all of it, but I watched part of the debate yesterday that the two brothers were having with vocab. And I thought while I was watching it, I heard about something that was very interesting. One of the things that one of the brothers said while he was defining what salvation was, he said salvation, I'm just paraphrasing, and he can correct me if I'm wrong, if I get it wrong. But it says salvation means uh, glorification for those whom God foreknew. And so uh, that's pretty much all I got from it. And so I wanted to ask him a question in regards to the biblical verse. But before I do so, uh, I just want to know more from like where he's coming from, like how he defines salvation. Like, is it just like the glorification of the people who God foreknew, or could it mean something else?
You're on mute.
Yeah, so glorification wasn't our definition. The glorification was the definition of the brothers on the panel. We went to Romans 8 to show how that glorification and that justification was attributed to the people who God foreknew and predestinated. And those the same people who God foreknew or predestinated prophetically proclaimed what their salvation was going to be, which then I went to Luke 1 and 68 and then Revelations 12 and 10, which they did not answer. So, I mean, would you like to answer Revelations 12 and 10 or Luke 1 and 68? because that's the biblical definition of salvation that we hold to. You're on mute if you're speaking. You're on mute again.
Okay. Can I be heard now?
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. So, yeah, let me open my Bible and pull up the verse.
Which one? Luke 1 and 68 or Revelations 12 and 10?
We could look at both. Right now, I'm looking at Luke 168 first.
Beautiful.
So, um, it says, "Blessed is the Lord God of Israel, for He has visited and redeemed His people."
What was that? I
And
didn't hear you.
uh, verse 68, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was reading it. It
Yeah, I didn't
says,
hear you.
"Blessed." Yeah. Well, if you want, you can read it for yourself. I was just reading it so that I can give my understanding of it. But
Yeah, go ahead, read it.
if you'd like, that's cool. You can read it.
Go ahead and read the verse, brother.
Okay. It says, Blessed is the Lord God of Israel, for He has visited and redeemed His people, and has raised up a horn of salvation for us in the house of David. David is in the house of His servant David." Um, is it is that the entire thing?
Keep reading.
"As He spoke by the mouth of His holy prophets, who have been since the world began, that we should
Mm-hmm.
be saved from our enemies and from the end of all who hate us."
Mm-hmm. Read to
Verse
verse
4.
read to verse 74.
Okay. Verse 72. It says, "To perform the mercy promised to our fathers, and to remember His holy covenant, the oath which He swore to our father Abraham, to grant us that we, being delivered from the hand of our enemies, might serve Him without fear, in holiness." Well, that's 74.
Yep. So
Okay,
what about it?
so yeah, the way I look at this passage right here, it's speaking about Jesus coming and visiting His own people. Like it says in John 1:10, I believe, says He came to His own, and His own did not receive Him. So that's what I believe is the time of visitation. And He also talks about it in the same book of Luke. Um, Let me get it in. Yeah, in Luke 19, Jesus, you know, Jesus was wiping, and he was weeping for, because he visited his people, and they did not accept Him. They did not understand that He was the actual Messiah that the prophets prophesied about concerning. So, and Jesus was wiping about it in Luke 19, and it says, I'm gonna start at verse.
Wait,
Mhm.
you said Jesus was weeping because his people rejected him?
Yes.
You talking about when he was in the garden?
No, in Luke 19, when He weeps over Jerusalem.
Okay, okay. I just wanted to make
Uh,
that clear.
let me see, I'm trying
But I mean, again, no, we're looking at Luke 1 76 to 73. If salvation is for everybody, why do we see in this prophetic statement to perform, well, first, that we should be saved from our enemies and from the hand of all that hate us, to perform the mercies promised to our fathers? So,
Mhm.
number one, if salvation is for everybody, who are these enemies that we are supposed to be saved from?
I would say like the enemies of the Jews, like the Gentiles nations who hate the Jews, like you know, yeah, like any Gentile nations that dislike the God's people, so would be considered an enemy. So that's who I would understand to mean as
Mhm.
enemy there.
So can those nations receive this salvation?
Yes, they can still receive salvation, because I don't.
Wait, those enemies, the one listed in Luke 1 and 71, the enemies of the Jews, can receive the salvation listed in Luke 1 and 71?
No, 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 and that's what I was about to explain is that I don't think the biblical, like I don't think the salvation that Jesus has brought. Well, I'm gonna say this. I don't think Luke 1:71 is like the a clear definition of, the salvation that Jesus has brought, by dying on the cross. I think it's more like a promise made to the Jewish nation that, they will not be suffering the persecution that they have always dealt with, throughout history. And so it's like a prophecy of comfort, like to comfort them that they'll be delivered from it. So I don't
So
think
if it's not the salvation that Jesus is bringing, why in verse 69 it says, and have, well, verse 68, blessed be the Lord God of Israel, for he has visited and redeemed his people, and have raised up a horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David. What
Mhm,
is this horn of salvation here that's being risen up in the house of his servant David?
mhm.
What salvation is that?
Yeah, like I said, I believe it's just a prophecy of comfort, like a deliverance from all the captivities that the Jews has had endured throughout history. So that's what I believe that salvation is talking about there. Because
Okay, and
remember, it's not.
that's the biblical salvation that we see all throughout the Bible. Is Israel being rescued from the lands of their captivities, from their enemies?
No, especially in light of like the old
That's
Bible,
no,
like in the yes, like if you look at the old concept of the Bible from Genesis to Revelation, you see um you see you really see like what's going on there with humanity, you see that humanity has a need of a savior all throughout history. And
no,
so
no. So
it
so let
also,
me let me let me stop you. It literally says, as he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began. So it's prophetic. It's something that the prophets have already spoken about. This specific horn of salvation. Like, where
I
is
agree.
that? Yeah. So if you agree, where is that in the scriptures?
Yeah, it's found all throughout the prophets. Like I said, uh this is a prophecy of comfort, that God has not forsaken his people, that he is gonna deliver them from their enemies. And you can read the prophets,
Brother,
Jeremiah,
I'm not gonna lie
Isaiah.
to you. You are not answering his question, bro.
Yeah. What prophecy states that non-Israelites are going to receive the salvation that the Messiah is going to usher in?
Because
Well, now
every
you're
Christian
asking a
goes
different
somewhere
question.
in Paul.
First, you asked, where could we find this prophecy that's being spoken in Luke 1:68, correct?
Uh, it's many places you can go. Where you want to go?
That's what I'm saying.
I need a prophecy, because you're saying all this to say that the heathens can receive this salvation that
No, I'm not. No, no, no,
Zechariah is talking about. Yes.
no.
Before we go anywhere, so so Kethy, you understand in Luke 1 it says saved, correct?
Yes.
Do you understand that's sozo and it means like the same salvation you see in other places in the New Testament, right?
No, that's where I would disagree with. I
I
don't
mean
believe
where the
this.
word appears.
Yeah, we see salvation all throughout the Bible, not just only in the New
I
Testament, but
mean the
all throughout
Greek
the Bible.
word.
Yeah, yeah, and I was gonna give this point right here. Paul used the same
Well,
word
but
salvation, the
hold up,
same Greek
Kethy.
word.
Hold up, Kethy, real fast. So I'm trying to figure out. So in other places in the Bible, in the New Testament,
Mhm.
salvation means what you believe salvation is, as far as like for all nations, the one that Christ brought in. But for some reason, in Luke 1, it just means something completely different.
Not at all. This is my point. So salvation, if we're gonna define salvation, salvation just means deliverance from something, being delivered from something, being redeemed from something, right? So, uh, salvation can have nuances in its definitions. For example, Paul talks about him being saved while he was in prison, meaning he was delivered out of prison, and he used the same Greek word that's being used here in Luke 1:68. So, and he has to be understanding his proper context because he's talking about being delivered in prison.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's what
I
I'm
get the
saying.
fact that that's sozo, like basically like
Right,
delivered from peril in a dangerous situation. I
right.
would agree with you as far as the nuances goes. Now, before we leave Luke, can what that salvation in Luke is that for anybody outside of Israel
No, I
in
see
Luke 1?
this. No, yeah, that's what I was telling the brother earlier. I see this as something only pertaining to, the Israelites, because it's a
Oh,
prophecy of comfort, because they God still promised to take care of them, to deliver them from all the captivities that they have been through, throughout history. uh I could use one verse that speaks about it.
but before we get there, Kethy, now because I like to get all the meat off the bone on chapters, right? So
Mhm.
the salvation you're talking about, as far as what the Gentiles can get, as far as the kingdom goes, is that the promise of Abraham?
Mhm. So, in,
That's a
in,
yes or no question
Oh, that sounded like it was tough to answer.
well,
because I'd really love to know.
so God promised Abraham is gonna make Abraham you know a father of many nations. It's gonna make him first a great nation. He's gonna be a father of many
Kethy,
nations.
before you go into your dissertation, I just need a yes or no, and then you could substantiate it.
Okay, could you read it, like rephrase your question one more time
The,
for me,
the
please,
the
brother?
salvation you believe that the Gentiles can receive, is that from the promise of Abraham?
Yes, yes.
So why then, when we read farther in Luke chapter 1, because you said this chapter is for Israel, it says when we read verse 70, as he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began, that we should be saved from our enemies and from the hand of all that hate us, to perform the mercy promised to our fathers, and to remember his holy covenant, the oath which he swore unto our father Abraham, that he will grant unto us, that we, being delivered out of the hand of our enemies, might serve him without fear. The context of Luke chapter 1, he's telling you that Israel being saved and delivered from their enemies is the fulfillment of the Abrahamic promise. If the
I don't.
Gentiles, if you believe the Gentiles are receiving salvation due to that promise, why are they not mentioned here?
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, I don't. I believe this as only pertaining to the Israelites. I don't think Gentiles could be
No,
included in
that's not
this.
my point, though.
Hey, Kethy, you kind of missing it. He's you believe that Gentiles are fellow heirs to the Abrahamic covenant. I mean, Abrahamic promise, right?
Yes.
He's asking you, how can that be when the promise is them getting saved from the Gentiles? The Abrahamic promise is his seed being saved from the Gentiles.
That's the fulfillment of
No,
it.
that's not the Abrahamic covenant, though. You see,
Yes,
that's the point.
brother.
The
Yes, it is. That's
It
Genesis
says it.
well,
17.
okay. How about we pull up the Abrahamic covenant in its proper context?
No,
Okay.
no, no, no. Wait. Before we go there, what is the oath that is sworn to our father Abraham? What is that?
That's what
uh,
I've been asking the whole
that
time.
is going to send that is going to set the promised seed, which is the Messiah.
So
So
that's not the Abrahamic covenant.
that is the Abrahamic covenant. Yes.
You got it done, Waller.
But but let's look at the Abrahamic covenant and what it actually says in its proper context. I mean, if we can.
I mean, we can, brother, but the point is, what salvation is Christ prophesied to bring? And you already admitted that salvation is Christ saving the Israelites from the land of their enemies. So I,
Yes,
I
he,
really don't know what we're talking about no more at this point, because you already agreed on that.
Yeah, bro. Like it really makes no sense. You already agree with me that you believe that the Gentiles get the same promise that Abraham was given, but yet the promise to Abraham is for them to get saved from the Gentiles. How does that make sense, brother?
And you literally said Luke
No.
Luke 1 and 68 on down is for Israel. Like I'm just confused. It sounds like you agree with our point.
Yes,
I already
it
told you
is for
that this is
Israel.
salvation according to us.
Right, it is for Israel, and Israel missed it. Israel missed the chance. That's why Jesus was
No,
weeping.
no, we're not even
Was
finna do that.
It don't
It's
say that.
the Bible. The Bible states, and even Paul states that Israel gets the promises regardless.
well, I could show you. I could show it to you in Luke 19. That's where I was going at. Before we kind of change topic, but in Luke 19, Jesus is weeping over Jerusalem because they have missed the time of visitation that's being spoken here in chapter 1. It's the same book. So Jesus says, you let me go back there in Luke 19. Um, if I could just read it, please.
Luke 19 and what?
Luke 19, verse 44. But we could start at verse 41 for the proper
And you're about to
context
read this to say what?
to show that yes, Jesus came to redeem his people, but they missed it because the Jews
They
expected the
missed it.
Messiah. Yes, they missed the opportunity. The Jews expected the Messiah to come and
So
deliver
when
them.
is Luke 1:68 on down is gonna happen if they missed it?
If they miss it, does that mean that's not going to happen no more?
Oh, well, it will happen in the future.
So what are
Uh,
we talking about, brother?
That makes no
So, so,
sense.
so what are we talking about, brother? If this is going to happen in the future, and this is salvific, and you've already said that the other nations, those enemies there, are not receiving this salvation, and it's the
yes,
promised salvation that the prophet spoke about, what are we talking about?
That
The
means
only
so
thing
do you think, if I may ask you, do you think that Jesus came only to give a certain ethnic group of people, uh, salvation, to mean that they will be delivered from a captivity? That's all Jesus came to do.
he came to also to die for their sins. He died for a certain group of people's sins too.
brother,
Right,
that's not that, and that's
and
not
that's
even
the
what we're talking
gospel.
about here. Hold on, Kefi.
That's the gospel.
Hold on, Kefi. We're not talking about what all Christ did or is going to do. We're talking about salvation. According to the Bible, what salvation is the Messiah prophesied to bring about, to spearhead? You've already agreed, Luke 1:68, that said prophecy of Christ bringing that salvation is to the Israelites
Hmm.
and only to the Israelites.
Again, yes, 100%.
So
And
what do
that's
we
the.
talk? You can't say yes and but at the same time.
But what I'm saying though is
Is
that
Luke 7:68 to 74? Is it talking about the salvation of Israel?
yes, salvation. But again, salvation can mean different things,
No,
right?
no, Kethy.
So
No,
salvation
Kethy.
there.
Let
Let
me
me
ask you
explain,
one more
brother. Let me
time.
explain.
Yeah, he's
Let me ask you one more time. In Luke 1
Hmm.
68 through 74, is
Hmm.
that talking about the prophetic salvation that the Messiah is going to bring?
Yes,
Now, is that to Israel?
yes.
Is that to anyone else?
No, it's not for the.
So we have nothing else to talk about, Kefti.
yeah. There is no other spiel that you can
Well,
give to try to break down how the Gentiles are going to be saved.
That is salvation. Now, if you want to talk about, if
because
you
you
want to,
believe I'm
hold on,
about
Kefti,
to include them.
hold on,
Okay.
Kefti. If you want to talk about world peace or Gentiles
No,
getting
not
blessed
no. I'm talking about
and them
relations
getting
things.
healed,
I'm
that's a
talking
whole
about
different
relation.
conversation. But
Well, brother.
we're talking about the prophetic salvation that the Messiah was prophesied to bring, and you
Okay.
agreed is
And,
to Israel and only
right.
Israel.
And
What
let me
else
tell
is
you
there to
what
talk
other
about?
and let me tell you what other thing he came to bring into fulfillment. Isaiah 53. He was bruised for our transgressions. He was bruised for our trespasses. So
Whose
that's
transgressions?
uh well I'm about to get there, but the point is that it's something else that Jesus came also to do, and it's
Oh, yeah,
already
brother. See, you going see my brother here asked you a specific question on salvation. It don't matter what you got. You're talking about
Bro,
something.
he already agreed with
Wait,
salvation.
no.
I am
Let's follow
confused
this
as
though.
what are we talking about?
He's trying to go. He's trying to
I
go
want to
down.
follow this real quick though.
What did they agree about? What
Wait,
did they agree
hold
about?
up, Kethy. Finish what you're gonna say on Isaiah 53.
Yeah, I need to hear
Right.
that.
So Jesus came not only to deliver the Jews, and that's something we have to wait till the future for that to happen. It's not happening right now, but the salvation that's being spoken in the gospel is the redemption and remissions of sin. Jesus crucified. That's what the early apostles preached. So, and he died for the sins of the people, and it was
Which
prophesied
people?
in the law of the Torah.
Which
Uh,
people?
for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, the whole world.
Whoa,
So
Kethy. No,
Whoa.
no. We're not doing that,
He
Kethy.
tried. Hey, yeah,
So,
he tried to go to prophecy and
hell no.
jump to.
So
That's why I said I have no clue why we're going anywhere else. The man already
Kethy,
admitted salvation is
right,
for Israel and Israel
right
only.
here where it
that
says, hold
salvation
up.
is
Oh,
from
no, Kethy.
captivity.
Wait.
It's
We're
not
not
from
doing that.
sin.
Let's read verse 8. He was taken from prison and from judgment, and who shall declare his generation? For he was cut out of the land of the living. For the transgression of my people was he stricken. Who's Isaiah's people?
God's people, the world. This is
No,
yeah.
no. Who is Isaiah's people?
Isaiah's people of that time would be the ethnic Jews.
Oh, okay then. So what are we talking about then?
Yeah, but in the New Testament,
But didn't get the fuck out of here, Kethy.
So now the New Testament. See, that's what I'm saying. A Christian try to use the New Testament as if it changes prophecy. Now all of a sudden, all these prophecies that Israel's getting saved changes in the New Testament. Like, bro,
But
that,
that's the thing though. He didn't even agree that it changed. The man literally agreed that the prophecies concerning salvation is for Israel and Israel only. That's
bro,
why I was highly confused as why are we going anywhere else, bro? You just agreed.
that's why I asked him. I said, "So do you believe that the Gentiles get the same promise of Abraham?" He said, "Yes." I said, "How is that possible if the promise of Abraham is that his seed is going to get saved from the Gentiles?"
I want to show something. I did it. I did it before. No, not the fact book. I don't need the fact book. My people. Citizenry. God, I'm about ready. I'm about ready to go to the. There it is. Yeah. He says my people is his family, kin, clan, relatives, father's side, a group, a tribe.
Ooh,
Bro, this is Israelites.
Logos, boy.
A very large kinship group regarded as related biologically as well as language and other cultural common features. That's a race. That's his race. We're not about to do but the New Testament. No, you went there to try to substantiate your point. If you want to get to John 3:16, just read John 3:16. We're not about to bastardize a prophecy so you can read John 3:16. No, Kethy. No, it's not happening, bro.
But even with that though, man, the topic and even what happened last night, if we're talking about salvation, what it is, the man literally agreed that that's the prophetic salvation that the Messiah is bringing is to Israel and to Israel only. There's nothing else to talk about.
Nothing.
There's literally that's why I was confused. And oh, bro, you just don't understand what you just said. There's nothing else to talk about.
No, I understand this. What he's saying is like there's nuances with the word sozo. Also, I forgot what it's translated from in the what Hebrew word is, but it's sozo. Now you have certain nuances like where it could be delivered from peril, but he's just gonna go to a Paul's epistle and just use the whole Gentile argument. That's the only thing that's the only thing that's gonna happen.
But you see, that's why I took that away from the start. I said the prophetic salvation that the Messiah is going to bring. Who is getting that here in Luke 1 and 68? The man agreed, Israel and Israel only. I'm like, oh, bro, there's nothing we can talk about then. From here on, you're playing a game.
Games are being played, but yeah, man. Y'all give y'all salutations, man. I'm about to close this down.
Hey man, it's just all praises to the Most High, man. You know, he said that babes will confound the wise, and that's what we're looking at. We're just looking at babes, man, confounding these apologists, confounding men who's been trying to come up against his truth for so long, but you can't come up against his truth because now you're fighting against God.
Yeah, man, I just want to give all glory to God. Just, you know, it's a blessing to see how far a brother has came. You know, I know if me in the past was to see me now, we would have never thought we'd be doing this. And bro, I just hope we do greater works than what we have done that last Tuesday, man.
That's right.
Yeah, I wanna close out on this since I said it.
Oh, and we want all the smoke. I'm just gonna say.
Let me see, where is that?
Well, it's true.
I want to read this before we go. So this is Acts chapter 5 and verse 38. It reads, "And now I say unto you, refrain from these men and let them alone. For if this counsel or this work be of men, it will come to naught. But if it be of God, you cannot overthrow it. Least happily you be found even to fight against God." And that's what you see our Christian brothers and sisters doing, and they're fighting against God. And that's why this truth isn't stopping. That's why this truth is growing. That's why our brothers are getting stronger and stronger. Because here's the kicker part, right? Even us, we got men underneath us that's getting stronger to combat the doctrines that have been on this world for so long, because the doctrines that the whole world believes is true is false. So Christians, it's either you get with the movement or you really just need to leave Israelites alone, because you're literally fighting against God at this point.
And have been for the longest, man. But yeah, man, with that, before we go, man, don't forget to like, share, subscribe to the video, man. If you be on your heart, Cash App, Sicarii Dallas, Cash App, Space City. Or is Sicarii Houston?
Sicarii Houston, yeah, that's our Cash App.
Yeah, Sicarii Houston, man. If you be on your heart, if you want to donate to the prophets, man. But yeah, man, we're gonna pick this back up next Wednesday because there's so much more of this conversation to talk about. Are y'all gonna put it on y'all channel?
Yeah. We're gonna put it. We just gotta see. We just gotta see if we're gonna doctor it up a little bit, make it a little bit more appealing, or we just gonna drop it.
Hey, whatever, man.
Hey man, you know how Space City do, man. We like
man, I know you.
Their attention span is small, man. You gotta get their attention, man.
You gotta get the people going.
Gotta get the people going.
But yeah, man. With that, I want to say, call all you how about some of my Shalom.
Shalom.